Have you been thinking about packing your bags and heading to a new city to live? If so, in this video, I'll give you the top 5 things to do if you're planning on making that big move. And if you stick around until the end, I even show you how I think you can make this all work with less than $1,000. So check me out right after this.
Dollar signs is only the top. I pay no mind to them haters, they talk. I level up and then open the watch. The world in my hand, praying I don't drop. Praying I don't drop. Praying I don't drop. Praying I don't drop. Praying I don't drop.
Step number 1 is figuring out exactly where you want to live. Now, this can be the most important part because you want to pick a good place that fits you. Now, unless you want to just move around everywhere every 2-3 years, create a checklist during this time. Put things that you absolutely will not put up with and things that you could possibly put up with. Now, I completely understand if you don't want to live somewhere with a freezing, blistering winter, because neither would I. But there is somewhere in the United States for everyone. So visit first. Now, mind you, I did not visit Austin before I moved here. I had never been to Texas, to be completely honest. Now, that's a huge risk, but it goes to show that if you don't want to waste the money on visiting somewhere and you're already sure that you know you want to live there, just make the move. It's completely possible. Just take that jump of faith. I'll give you a secret that not many people know. I actually wanted to save this until the end of the video on how to get this as cheap as possible, but some people may not make it to the end, so I decided to sneak this up front just because it's that important. Shipping your things through Amtrak. Now, whether you have a lot of things or a little bit of things, I definitely believe this could be your cheapest option. There's a limit on size of things that you can ship, so your bed won't be able to go. You can downgrade completely. I wiped the truck out completely because that was going to be a huge fee. And shipped most of the things and sold everything else on places like Facebook Marketplace. I ultimately got most of my money back, and a lot of the things that were sold were actually free. So it's like a yard sale. Number 2. Do not freak yourself out. This does not have to be expensive. It really all depends on how much stuff you have. And even if you have a lot of stuff, there are still cheap ways to get it to its destination. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone. And most people don't realize that the leaders of this country and innovators of the country, they stepped outside of their comfort zone. A lot of people moved away from their hometown, and it really helped them thrive. So moving away could actually be the motivation that you really need to take your life to that next level. And if you're watching from a smaller city and want to move to a bigger city, it's a good opportunity. They usually have more job opportunities, so you'll ultimately make more money as well. The hardest part is leaving your friends and family. But at the end of the day, it's going to be really exciting to show them around and do fun things with them around the city. So it's definitely worth it. Number 3, networking for jobs. Now, I would definitely recommend trying to transfer your current job, but let's say you don't have a current job or you're just on your last straw and you fed up with your current job and you want a new one. There are plenty of ways to network to get a job in that new city before you actually make it there. First and foremost, work on your LinkedIn and your resume. They are very important. Now, these steps will actually help you get selected for interviews, so you definitely need to start there. I recommend using websites such as LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, and some people like to save 3 months of expenses so they can move and they can start the job search once they actually get there. Now, while that may be nice, saving 3 months of expenses could be extremely challenging and is actually unnecessary. Me personally, I transferred my job to Austin, but I was showing up late so many times because I had interviews for other positions once I got here. I eventually left that job and I decided to do Uber and Lyft just to make money for the time being. It helped me a lot just because I got to learn the city really quickly. And hey, call me wherever you want, but I use this as a chance to actually find out things. Or friend interviews, you know, someone would actually get in the car and after a few minutes, I'm like, yeah, order gas, or you hoop, you know, small things like that. It really helped out. Now, I completely understand if you don't want to drive people around, or you don't have a car, or you don't even like driving your own car. So what worked for me may not work for you, but it just boils down to don't be ashamed to get a bridge job. And a bridge job is a job that isn't ultimately in your long-term plans, but it's something that you can do for now just to have some income. Number 4, figuring out exactly where you want to live in the city and how to find good apartments. This part tends to scare people the most just because no one wants to live in a dangerous neighborhood, and everyone really wants to live in a place that looks really nice but isn't expensive and is also safe. So they're almost looking for a unicorn, but there is ways to find these gems. So you definitely have apps to help you out with things like this, but you also have Instagram pages and you have Facebook groups. I suggest you utilize everything. You can join Facebook groups such as moving to Los Angeles, or moving to Austin, Texas, or moving to Miami, things like that. And you can ask questions in there and people will help you out a lot. They'll tell you exactly what to look out for, or maybe apartment complexes. Any type of recommendations you might need, you can find in some type of Facebook group. You have Instagram pages such as Smart City, Apartment Locators, Apartment Hunters. And these people, they actually have real estate licenses and they help you find a great apartment. There isn't any fee. And the best thing about it is you can tell them exactly what you are looking for. For instance, if you want to stay in a busy part of town where the nightlife is great, they will give you multiple options and they'll drop a pin on a map to where you can see exactly what you're looking for. You can also use apps like Zillow, apartments.com, and things of that nature. They always help, but they don't really give you the breakdown on exactly how the neighborhood is. My main suggestion would be the Facebook groups and reaching out to someone on one of those Instagram pages. Now, there are apps like Spare Room, which rounds into my very last tip: budgeting and doing this for cheap. If you've made it this far, you've already seen my pointer on Amtrak and how you should ship all your things and probably sell all your stuff, because you probably want new stuff anyway for a new place in a new city, and ultimately ditch the moving truck. And most people want to think, this is gonna be too expensive. What about deposits, utilities, and furniture? I have to save so much, I just can't. This is just not true. Spare Room is an app that allows you to find roommates that are similar to you. You can filter requests so your roommates are exactly like how you want them. For instance, if you want a roommate that's a smoker, you can have that. If you want a roommate that's into art, you can have that. And for the couples out there, if you want roommates that are couples, you can have that too. They also have rooms in mansions where there are 10-bedroom mansions and you're rooming with similar like-minded people. For instance, I could live in a mansion with a group of YouTubers or aspiring filmmakers and actors. All of the people that you will live with, you are like-minded, so maybe you can ultimately network and help each other. And some apartments even come furnished if you don't have furniture to bring. Now, I understand this wouldn't be ideal, but sometimes you have to sacrifice to get to where you really want to be. If you decided to sell all your things and just pack your car and move and live with a roommate in the biggest city in the country for only $500 a month, there will be a matter of no time that you'll be on top of your feet in your own place and doing exactly what you wanted to do. Now, for the people who are watching who may have a family and it's impossible to have a roommate, I would definitely suggest checking out the Facebook groups that I mentioned and the Instagram pages. They can definitely help you out and help you find a good deal. And for some people who are wondering, look, my credit isn't good enough, I'm not going to get approved, or the deposits are going to be too high, the deposits on Spare Room are as low as $100, $200. It's actually a lot better of a deal. And if you search on Craigslist and ads such as that, you can find even better deals from private owners where they aren't so particular about a credit score. And look, if you already have money saved, then you're already in a good position, and you're just watching this video for more motivation to actually get up and do it. And I'm sure you may have the question, how much exactly should I save before I move across the country? There's no exact number you can put to it. Once you get to that new city, there are multiple things you can do to continue to make money. So that just means once you get there, you have to be willing to work and willing to search for a job. Just drive Lyft if you feel like there's nothing else. But I'm just here to tell you that it's possible. I know it can be done with a month worth of rent and utilities and money for food. You just have to have money to fill up your gas tank to get out there. And if you need a moving truck, then that money for the moving truck. And that's exactly how much you really need to get away. It's just ultimately about not doubting yourself and just getting out and doing it. But that wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching Live with Black Rob.